Hello, and welcome to today's session on assessment in Minecraft education. I've been running a few sessions this year, and you can check all the recordings on YouTube. I'll send the link out following today's session. My name's Stephen Payne. I work for Standout Education in Perth, Western Australia, and my role is supporting schools to make the most out of technology. And I do quite a lot with Minecraft in schools, both helping teachers and also helping teachers run lessons and challenges, etc., with students. I've been using Minecraft in the classroom for about 15 years since the education edition came out. And one of the best things about Minecraft in education is you don't have to be an expert Minecraft player to be able to be an expert Minecraft educator. The students are much faster and know a lot more about the game. But what we're going to look at today is how we can actually use their skills in the game and introduce them to some ways of assessing and reflecting and that sort of thing. So that's kind of the aim for today. We're kind of going to do a few different things. We're first of all going to look at formative assessment. So you can actually see how students are progressing in the challenges you've set or the lessons they're working from, how they can reflect in different ways, those sorts of things. We'll look at app smashing. So that's basically just a fancy way of saying using Minecraft integrated with other apps. So I'll show you some ways that students can create screenshots, how you can incorporate quizzes and that sort of thing into Minecraft. And we'll have a little look at summative assessments as well. So students can demonstrate their knowledge, whether that is curriculum based or whether it's creativity, collaboration, all of those things. And there are some really good ways that Minecraft can enhance these learning and assessment opportunities. Great. We are going to have a few interactive components. So if you've got Minecraft installed, you can play along. But if you haven't, you can always refer back to it later. We're not going to do anything too tricky today, hopefully. But always handy to have a child on hand if you can. So we'll start with leveraging formative assessment in Minecraft education. So I think most people watching this will be educators, so you'll understand what formative assessment is and how crucial it is for effective teaching and learning. So we're going to get insights into their students' progress. You can see on the screen there some different models we're going to look at. There's a camera, so students can take photographs, they can write in books, they can write on these chalkboards, and these are all within the game. But you can also export them out of the game as well and add them to your learning management system or print them out or however you want to use those tools. And I'll go through all of that with you today. So I'm just going to do a very simple challenge to start with. We are going to do a biome exploration challenge. So in this activity, we're going to explore a new world. We're going to document what we found, and we're going to leave our mark on that world. So in Minecraft, you have lots of different biomes. When you play Minecraft, you might be in the jungle, you might be underwater, you might be in the desert. There's lots of different biomes that relate to real world situations, as well as some fantasy ones that just really exist in Minecraft. But what's great about this is you can use this in lots of different ways. So you can look at cultures, you can look at animals, you can look at animal adaptation, you can look at conservation ideas, all of these things you can adapt to the age and experience of your students. So we are going to, as I've said, explore a new biome and use tools within Minecraft to share what we found. So that's kind of the broad outline of what we're going to be doing today. So there's some examples there: the desert biome, forest, ice plains, jungle, and they all have different kind of setups. So some will have mountains, some will have lakes and rivers, and you have all sorts of wildlife. So you might have come across rabbits or polar bears or parrots, and it depends on where you are in Minecraft as to the animals you see, as well as the vegetation. So each kind of has a different ecosystem, and there are some really good worlds that you can explore and learn about these. So we might be focusing on plants. So what plants do we have in this area, or landmarks? Are there any human-built structures? What sort of water features are there? All of those sorts of things. So you can tailor this challenge to the age range of the students that you're working on. So what we're going to do is open up Minecraft and find our way around a biome. So that's the aim for today. And we're going to start by using these two tools, the camera and the portfolio. So the camera is a particular tool that's available in Minecraft Education, and students can take photos of what they see. So that's great to document what they found or what they've created. And then the portfolio is kind of a way of looking back through your camera roll. So we're going to go through these today. So why would this be useful? Well, they can document and reflect on what they're learning. They can talk about changes they've made within the world or how they've worked with others. So that's a really powerful thing to do. Also, easy for teachers to assess. It might be quite tricky if you've got a class of 28 students looking at everyone's computer and seeing what they're doing, but they can actually export their portfolio as a PDF and email it to you, or airdrop it, or put it on Microsoft Teams, or however you interact with your students. I did some training at one school with a class once. I think it was a year 2 class, and their way of sharing was to print directly to the printer, which was in the principal's office. So the principal got lots of pictures of Minecraft animals coming throughout the morning. So different ways that you can do that. And there's also different ways that you can use this. So you'd use it in a different way in science, to storytelling. You can use it in languages. Anywhere where you can use Minecraft, you can use the camera and portfolio to document what you've been doing. So what are you observing? You might have exit tickets as well. So you might have students to maybe take photos of the progress of what they've done to assess their understanding of the topic, and also concept mapping. So they can actually take photos of different aspects of their build to show that they understand the key concepts that you're looking at. So we are actually going to go in now and look at these tools. So very easy to use the camera. You can just pick it up from your inventory. I'll remind you how to do that. And then you just look, take a photo, and that is then put into your portfolio. You can then add a caption in your portfolio. There's not a lot for a long story. It's just 1 or 2 words to capture what you found. And then you can export these, as I've mentioned, as a PDF. So I'm going to show you how to use the camera, and we'll have a quick look at that live in the game. So if you do have a second screen, you can open up Minecraft and play on that. But if you don't, you can just watch along with me today and try it later. So I'm just going to spend a couple of moments in Minecraft. So I've opened up Minecraft. I'll go right back to the start page. So I've logged in. I've chosen my costume. I'm going to wear the t-shirt today. There we go. And I'm going to go in and play. So you just need to log in with your Microsoft email address and password, and then you're ready to play. So in the library, there are a lot of ready-made worlds that you can explore. I'm going to go today into the starter worlds, which is where you can find the biomes. So I'll just go through that again. Library, starter worlds, biomes. And you'll see a range of different biomes. So desert, we have deserts in the real world. We don't necessarily have badlands in the real world. That's a Minecraft specific biome. So you've got a range of different biomes that you can explore. And if you're playing along, you can just choose one of these yourself. There's no right or wrong one to choose. I'm going to choose the Ice Plains biome It's very hot where I am today, so I feel like cooling down in an expansive flat biome with a huge amount of snow. So I'm going to see, there are rabbits and polar bears. So I'm going to go and have a little look and see if I can find any. So I just click Create World, and I am now into this world. So it just loads in the background, and here I am. I can see some ice. I can look around. What can I see? Some ice and some grass. And I'm just using the keyboard to move around. If you're using a touch screen, you'll be using the on-screen joypad to move around. And if you do need a reminder, you can just press H and it shows you the controls: forwards, back, left and right. Fantastic. So I've just had a little bit of a look around and I want to take a photo of an animal that I've found. So I'm going to open up my inventory. I press E for everything. E opens up the inventory, and then I can just search for camera. And there's my camera. I can click on it and bring it to my hotbar at the bottom. So now I've got a camera. All I need to do is walk towards something that I want to take a photo of. Are you going to look at me? There we go. And I've taken a photo of the polar bear. Oh, there's a baby one. Let's get the baby one as well. There we go. So I've got a parent and a child. Oh, I found another animal. I'm getting carried away now. I think that's a rabbit. There we go. So I've now got a picture of the rabbit. Oh, with its nice big red eyes. So I've taken a few photos, but I can't see them until I open up my portfolio. So camera, and now I'm going to press E and search for my portfolio. You don't need to type all the words in, all the letters. There we go. I've got my portfolio. And now if I switch from, I press 1 to hold my camera and 2 to hold my portfolio. And then by right clicking, I can see all the photos that I've taken. So I'm going to say polar bear. I'm going to say baby polar bear. And I can switch if I've taken further pictures. That's a rabbit. If I don't want one, I can just delete it. So maybe I've taken something that I don't actually need. I can just delete that and focus on the ones that I need if I'm going to export them. So really easy. The two things you need are the camera and the portfolio to be able to document what you're finding. So again, I'm just going to take a photo of the snow to show the landscape. What you can also do with the camera is place it on the ground and take a selfie. So maybe you want to get a photo of yourself next to a structure you've built or next to an interesting feature. I'm going to have myself with the ocean in the background. So I'm going to walk over to the ocean, turn round, make sure I've got the camera selected, number 1, and I can just place it on the floor with a right click. And there's my camera. And if I right click on the camera, there's a little bit of smoke and it takes a photo of me. So you can place your camera on the floor and it just faces whichever way you're standing and you can take a photo. There we go. So if I go to my portfolio now, there's my selfie with ocean. I don't need that one. I only need one of them. Selfie with ocean, polar bear, baby polar bear. Oh, I don't need that one. There we go. So really easy to take a photo, whether it's in front of you or you're taking a selfie. And then what you can do is you can export your portfolio as well. So by clicking the export button, that just saves it directly to your desktop if you're using a laptop, or you can save it to your files on a tablet. And then you can go in, and there's my Ice Planes one. It will just open up as a PDF with all of your images in. So that's a really great way if you're getting students to explore. Maybe you want them to check off a certain amount of things, or even if they're just keeping a record of what they're doing, that can be a useful tool. That's called your portfolio and camera. Okay, nice and easy to use. Oh, now it's snowing. That's going to be a great picture. Let me just get that one. Yeah, might use that later. Okay, if you've got any questions about that, please put them in the chat. But it's something really easy to do, and allows students to show what they've been doing in Minecraft. Okay, I'm just going to pause that for now, and I'm going to go back to the slides. Okay, so now I'm going to introduce you to the book and quill. So this allows you to write more text. As we saw just then, you can take a photo and you can caption it, but with the book and quill, you can actually have photos and text next to each other. So you can write a narrative or an explanation or questions that you might have. Really powerful little tool. So I'm going to show you that next. It allows in-depth reflections, so they can reflect on how they've been working in the world, what they've discovered, what decisions they've made, all of those sorts of things. They can tell stories. So I've seen some really good examples with younger students where they've retold a fairy tale, for example, and they've created structures and they've taken photos and written a book about it. So that's really great. And it's also useful for collaborative learning. Students can actually share their books with each other, and they can do peer assessment or build on things together. So it's a really powerful tool for questioning. So great for answering those more in-depth questions. They can keep learning logs, particularly useful if you're using a world over a period of time. And also, as I've mentioned, peer assessment. So what I'm going to do now is this. I'm going to open the book and quill and add a photo of a feature of my biome and write a description of it. I'll then show you what that looks like when it's exported and shared with the teacher. So I'm going to go and open my Minecraft world again. And I'll just stay in this world for now. It's got a bit dark, but I think I can still see around. So I've got my portfolio, my camera. Now I'm going to press E, and I'm going to search for the book and quill. So when I type in the word book, there are lots and lots of different books in Minecraft. Some of you will be well aware of that. I actually want the book and quill, and a neat tip here is if you press a space bar, you get the book and quill. So I'm going to put that there. And in my world, oh, there's a person. Let's get a photo of that person. There we go. So I can go to my book and quill, and again, I can just right click anywhere. I normally look up to the sky, and I can edit my book. So I can click on this pen down here, and I can either add text or I can add any of the images that I've already taken. So I'm going to add myself there, and then I'm going to write a little bit about an introduction to my world. Welcome to the ice world. I am Stephen, an explorer, and I will show you what I have found in the new world. Okay, so I can write in here. I can go back and edit things if I want to change them. Maybe let me add a comma in there. There we go. Look at this as my English language skills coming in. There we go. So I can delete that page and start again. I can add another page. You can have as many pages as you want. Now I'm going to add the snow. There is a lot of snow in this world. I am going to study how often it snows and if there are any patterns. Okay, and then I can go across and I can add in other images. A polar bear can often be found near the mountains where there is snow. Okay, so I've written my reflection about what I found. That's using the book and quill. And what I can do is sign that book. Once you sign a book, that's kind of the book completed. So that's what you would generally do before you export it. You can't go back and edit it. So that's something useful to tell students, because as soon as I've signed the book, I give it a title, my ice world, and it's signed by my name. Note, when you sign the book, it will no longer be editable. So I'm going to sign and close that book, and you'll notice on my hotbar at the bottom, I've got my camera, portfolio, and I've now got a book called My Ice World, because that was the name I gave it. The book in quill has actually dropped out of my hotbar and it's changed into that book. If I want to go and do something else, I can go and get another book in quill. But that one I've got there. My Ice World, if I right click, I can read this, but I can't edit it. There's no edit buttons. But I can export it. So if I save that to my desktop, I can then open up my Ice World, and you've got your images and your text all in one document. Okay, so that is using the book and quill. What you can also do, and I've seen this in some really great examples in classrooms, is as a teacher, you can actually put a book and quill in there and add questions or headings for the students to actually fill in, like a writing frame. You also have the ability to open the immersive reader. So this down here brings up whatever text is on that page, and you can actually listen to it.
Welcome to the Ice World. I am Stephen, an explorer, and I will show you what I have found in the new world.
Yep, so great for students who perhaps struggle with reading. They can listen back to what they've written as well. Okay, so that is the book and quill. So we've looked at the camera, the portfolio, and the book and quill. Excellent. I'm going to escape that and exit that for now. And I'm going to talk to you now about some really useful formative assessment tools that are built into Minecraft Education. So there are chalkboards in Minecraft Education. If you've used Minecraft in the past, you're probably aware of the signs that you can have in Minecraft. You can put a sign on a house or in front of a farm and write some text on it, but they're quite small. But what we have in Minecraft are the chalkboards, and we've got 3 different sizes depending on how much information you want to share. So again, the chalkboards actually live in the world. So you basically are putting a poster down and writing what you found. You might be using it for labeling or why you've made a particular decision in your build. So it really helps you summarize what you're doing, particularly if you've got students working together. They can put instructions up. I've seen them used for guest books. So students explore each other's worlds and they write some feedback to the students on a chalkboard within the game. So they can talk about what they're doing, how it ties in with the subject they're studying. And it can also be interactive. So you could make like a navigational textbook. You might have a model from a historical story, and different aspects of it are actually labeled and written about. So you can use it for labeling. You can use it for KWL charts. So what I know, what I want to know, and what I've learned at the end. So you can kind of use different chalkboards throughout the world. And of course, checklists. So students can create their own checklist. So if we're building a farm, we need someone to build the farmhouse. We need someone to plow the fields. We need someone to add a fence. You can kind of type all the tasks that you want to do, and students can tick them off when they've done them within the game. So lots of ways that you can use these tools, and they're very easy to do. So there isn't a tool called a chalkboard. You need to find the 3 different sizes: a slate, a poster, and a board. And you can add that to any world that you are building in. So I'm just going to show you an example of this. Very easy to do. I'm going to open up Minecraft, and I'm going to go to a different world this time. I'm going to go into the starter worlds, biomes, and I think I'm going to look in the jungle. Here we go. So I'm going to create the jungle biome, and I'm going to add a slate. Oh, hello, chicken. I'm going to add a slate, a poster, and a board. So first thing I do is press E for everything and search for the word slate. And it's actually this last one here. There's quite a few things with the word slate in, but if I press slate, I can find it there. It looks like a little sign. So I found a slate, a board. I can spell it right. A board. And the third one, a poster. Okay, I'm actually going to put the board at the end because that's the biggest one. There we go. So I've got a poster, a board, and a slate. So I'm in a jungle. I'm not going to do too much exploring, but I'm going to write down here. I'm going to put my first slate down, and you'll see you've got a smaller amount of this. So I'm going to say what I know. So there are lots of plants. There we go. So what I know, there are lots of plants. Now I'm going to put next to that, or I could put it somewhere else, or maybe I could clear a space by breaking some of this greenery. And then over here, I'm going to write in my poster what I want to know. So what animals are there? Are there any other people? And then I can go and explore these things. So that's a poster. You can see you can do a bit more text on a poster. And then if I come around here, let's find a bit of space. I'm going to add a board. So that's much bigger. You can write a lot more on this. If students are telling a story, they can create their elements of the story and then write about it, or what I learnt. And we could maybe do some dot points here. But you can see you've got quite a big space to work with. So that's a slate, the small one, then a poster, and then a board. And of course, you can combine this with what we looked at earlier. So if I go and get a camera, I can actually take a record of that as well, which can be quite useful if I'm sharing that with a teacher. Maybe I need to just step back a bit. There we go. I'm just going to click off it. There we go. What I know. So you've got a slate, a poster, and a board. Super useful for adding text into your world. Okay. Camera, portfolio, book and quill, slate, poster, board. There we go. We've learned 6 things there. Now, that's all great. We've just stayed inside the Minecraft world, apart from when we've exported our books and our portfolio. What I want to mention now is a couple of ways that you can use your existing apps in conjunction with Minecraft. So again, I'm pressing escape to pause this world. And I'm going to talk a little bit now about app smashing. So all we're going to do here is look at how we can use some of the apps that you might use already. And what app smashing really does is combine different digital applications. So if you've got a particular tool you use for creating presentations or videos, you can come and use those within Minecraft. It ties in automatically with tools like Microsoft Teams, Google Classroom, and you can also add in your own resources. So I'm going to show you how you can do some of those things today. So for example, if you want all the students to go into the Ice Worlds biome, you can actually just create a link to that and share it straight to Microsoft Teams as an assessment or as a resource, which is super useful. You can also add in things like quizzes or reflection questions using Microsoft Forms. I'm going to show you how you can do that within the world today. And then finally, I'm just going to mention how you can use video tools. I use Microsoft Clipchamp because that's included with my Microsoft licensing. So as a student, I can actually record a walkthrough of my adventure or what I've created, and I can create a video. I can add text, I can trim it, all of those things that you might want to do as a super video editor. So this is what I'm going to show you now, how you can use some of these tools. So I'm going back to Minecraft Education. And if I wanted all my students to go into a particular world, I could direct the students. I could say, right, log on, go to your library, go to starter worlds, go to biomes, and choose the Ice Plains biome. Okay, then they can create the world. But what I can also do is click share link. So this is giving the students a quick direct path to get to this world. I can click share link and I can post this link directly to Teams. By clicking on Teams, it will open up Teams and I can post it as an assessment or post it into a channel in Teams. I can email it to the students, or I can use it in Google Classroom as well. If you don't use any of those with students, you can just copy that link and share it in some other way. You could create a QR code, or you could put it on Seesaw or whatever tools you use with your students. So share link is super useful. But what you can also see down here is the ability to add an assessment tool or website to the world. And what this will do is I might have a website I want the students to read about. So maybe they're learning about the desert. They can go and watch a video or read a resource, and you can include that within the world. So if I want to add a resource, all I need to do is paste in the URL and give it a title or a name, and that will be available once you send the world to the students. So let me show you an example of that using Microsoft Forms. So if I go to Microsoft Forms, I've got it open somewhere. I opened it earlier today. There we go. So the biome exploration challenge, I've just put a few questions here. What tools did you use? What plants did you discover? How have animals adapted to survive in this biome? and how could the knowledge you've got be applied to real life environment or conservation? Fantastic. So I've got some questions that I want the students to actually fill in and send to me. So all I need to do is get the link for that form. So I'm doing it with Microsoft Forms. You might use another tool. You could link to any website. You just need a link. So it could be something you want the students to complete, or it could just be a resource that they need access to. So I've copied this link from Microsoft Forms, and by going back here, I can just paste in that URL, and in here I can write reflection form. Done. So now if I share this link with students via one of these methods, or I just copy the link, when they open the world, they'll also see a link to that form. So let me show you how that works. So I've added that form, which is great. Now when I go into this world, I'll just show you the option here. You can also do it from within the world here, resource link. And this is what the students would see. Reflection link. And now when the student goes into the world, they'll see that reflection link. They'll click on it and it'll take them straight to that that form, and they can fill in their reflection. Because I'm logged in, it knows that I'm Stephen, so I use the camera and the book and quill. I saw a rabbit and a polar bear, and so I can answer the questions and submit it, and the teacher gets all of those reflections. So you're able to add in resources directly into individual worlds if you're sharing them with students. So that can be useful as well. Okay, the final thing I want to show you here is using video. So Clipchamp, as I mentioned, is included with your Microsoft licensing. So I've opened up Clipchamp, and if you haven't used Clipchamp, it's a free tool. You can record your screen and camera. You can record just your screen. You can record audio. There's lots and lots of options. I'm not going to go through it all now. I'm just going to say screen and camera. So what that's going to record is the screen, but also whatever I'm doing on, I could be talking directly and have my face in it as well. So I'm just going to turn my camera off in Teams so I can use it in Clipchamp. So I can click screen and camera, and that's going to be, oh, that's me. Hello. And I'm going to start the screen recording. And it asks me, what do I want to record? I'm going to record Minecraft education. So in 3 seconds, it's now recording me. So I can go into my world. So this is me. I found a polar bear. There's my polar bear. I'm going to look around and see if there are any other animals. I did see a rabbit earlier, but I don't know where the rabbit's gone. Let me come over here. And so I can explore. If I had done some building, I could talk about all the different things that I've built. And then when I'm ready, I can go to Clipchamp, stop that. It's now recording me, and I've now got a video that I can go and edit. So really simple to do. I can go in and I can trim it. So maybe I don't want the beginning. I can take that off. I can also add in text and things like that. So really easy for the students to edit Clipchamp, and then they can share it with their teacher or just export it to their device. So that's a really great way of students being able to do work in Minecraft, but also as a teacher, you can assess the way that they've built it as well. So a nice simple tool using Clipchamp, but of course you can, if you use other tools, you can probably do very similar things with the tools that the students are familiar with. I'm just going to leave that there for now. If you've got any questions, please put them in the chat. Otherwise, a couple more things to show to finish off today's session. So going back to my slides now, I want to talk a little bit about summative assessments. So you might not immediately think that Minecraft lends itself well to summative assessments, but I'm going to show you a couple of ways that you can use Minecraft to actually assess students' understanding of a particular topic at the end of a unit or the end of a lesson. So normally for summative assessments, you might use tests or presentations, exams, and those sorts of things. But what you can do is use Minecraft. So like the way I just showed you, using the video recording and that sort of thing, they can showcase their understanding of specific topics. Might be a historical building that they've built, or understanding an ancient civilization, or understanding how cells work in biology. Or they could create a detailed case study about an improvement to your local community, all of those sorts of things. So students can build worlds and add in all of the things we've looked at, the boards, the posters, take photographs, all of those sorts of things. So I've got an example that I'm going to show you from New York City, and that just kind of shows you what is possible in Minecraft. So we can evaluate students, and this can be an innovative way of doing that. So I'm just going to play a short clip here. It's just a couple of minutes. This was a project called Net Zero NYC. So the students were challenged to make New York City into a net zero city. And this video is one of the finalists. That kind of shows you how you can use it for summative assessment. So let me play this for you.
Welcome to John Dewey High School's 2022 NYC Net Zero Challenge submission.
In our build, we tackle the theme of greener buildings and one NYC 2050 goals of thriving neighborhoods, healthy lives, equity and excellence in education, a livable climate, and modern infrastructure.
To make our city more sustainable and accessible for all New Yorkers, we designed a community center that offers plenty of goods and services to everyone.
For example, hygiene products, hot food, and non-perishable goods are distributed throughout the center for those in need. Educational resources are provided via the library and job search offices.
We also have a local farmers market offering healthy produce and item donation bins. On the second floor, there is a second-hand market featuring affordable furniture and clothing in order to promote sustainable consumption.
The biggest challenge to our New York City is the implementation of greenhouses. These fun conservations offer composting, educational programs for children, and a community garden where we can learn how to live a greener lifestyle.
Most buildings are equipped with a rooftop greenhouse to provide a viable and accessible food source. There is even a greenhouse rooftop restaurant.
We built our apartments out of sustainable materials such as concrete to reduce carbon emissions throughout the city. Like the rest of our buildings, clean energy is provided through solar panels and wind turbines. Recycling and composting is highly encouraged via accessible disposable bins.
To show how we can make regular commercial buildings eco-friendly, we built an office that features energy conservation options. Office lights in the building are equipped with sensors so that they automatically shut off when the room is vacant in order to save energy. The building collaborates with the research center next door and is connected through a sky bridge.
Using what we learned from visiting Coney Island Creek, our state-of-the-art research center highlights a hydroponic system that cycles water for the water tower that supplies water for the city.
It also hosts an aquarium and research lab where we can learn how to live a more sustainable and equitable life in New York City.
So let's all do our part to create a more sustainable and more equitable New York City.
Okay, so that is quite an involved build, but it just gives you an idea of the types of things that can be achieved through a long-term project with Minecraft education. I think already there we've seen creativity, problem solving, applying their knowledge to building sustainable solutions, and shows you that they've got a good understanding of the environmental science and planning that's involved, and they're doing that through Minecraft creations. So you don't have to do something quite as elaborate as that in the classroom, but you can definitely scale that back, get the students thinking about local problems that they can solve or model via Minecraft. So that's really all I wanted to show you today, just to give you some ideas. I want to give you a few things to think about next. So I'd love you to complete the biome exploration challenge, maybe by yourself, maybe with some students. It's a nice, simple way of exploring, getting used to those new tools. Have a look at using those assessment tools, whether you're doing a maths lesson, a cybersecurity lesson, or a lesson about history. You can bring in those tools such as camera, book and quill, and all of the chalkboards. So see how that works in your lessons. So think about the other tools you use as well and how you might use them in conjunction with Minecraft. Maybe you use ebooks or videos that you could link as resources to make a kind of complete learning activity. So hopefully you found that useful. I'm running a few more sessions on different aspects of Minecraft over the next few months. So hopefully I'll see you at one of those. Thanks for watching.